Planning a group cruise for your family and friends can be one of the most rewarding and one of the most challenging things you can plan. From coordinating transportation, destinations, excursions, budgets, and deadlines, you can easily find yourself overwhelmed and ready to give up. But with the proper strategies and planning, you can be the catalyst for creating beautiful memories that your friends and family will have for a lifetime. Hi, I'm Rocki. I love cruising and I have planned a lot of group cruises. And so I want to share some tips that I've learned along the way so that when you're planning your group cruise, you won't fall into some of the pitfalls that I fell into. So if that sounds like a good idea, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. Let's quickly go over just exactly what constitutes a group when it comes to cruising. Each cruise line is different, with some requiring as few as 5 rooms, but as a general rule, you can secure a group with a minimum of 8 rooms with double occupancy. You might hear your travel agent or the cruise representative refer to something called an affinity group. Well, this just means that it's a group of people that you know or have a connection to, such as family, friends, high school reunion, church family, etc. There are other types of groups that can be formed, but they're usually organized by professional promoters, so I won't go over them in this video. Let's get started with tip number 1. Perhaps one of the most important things you're going to do as the coordinator for this group cruise is to decide on the destination. Now, your first inclination might be, oh, well, let me do a poll. Let me see where people want to go. My suggestion is for you to do that research on your own first, because you want to have a solid idea of the best places that you want to go. So when you think about the time of year that you guys are planning on going, that'll help determine what locations will be better. Then you can do your research and see what cruise lines go there, the length of the itineraries, and all those things. Because my experience has been, if you present a clean slate to a group of people, you're going to get a bajillion ideas, suggestions, and people will be all over the place and you'll end up going nowhere. So you want to come to the table with a proposal, with a plan. So you want to do your research on the back end so that you're saying, this is where we can go. If you want to give 1 or 2 options, maybe I'd say stick with 1. But if you want to give maybe a second one, that's okay. But don't let it go far beyond that, because you'll find yourself just getting inundated and overwhelmed with a whole lot of suggestions. So think about the destination. How big is your group? How big do you think it's going to be? Do these people like colder climates? Or do you want maybe an Alaskan cruise? Or do you want to do a Caribbean beach kind of vibe? So you want to narrow those things down. And once you decide what kind of climate you want, then you can see which cruises fit into that. And then also research which cruise lines go to that destination at the time that you're looking for. So when you present your idea to your group, you have all of that laid out, and you can have your pictures, you can, have all of the promotional materials. So it really looks professional, and people are going to feel confident in your ability to organize the group. So you want to come across like that from the very beginning, because if not, you'll just find yourself going down a slippery slope. And I've been there. You don't want to go there. So my first tip, decide on your destination before you even present it to your group. From the onset, you want to gather all of the pertinent information from the people that are going to be going on the cruise with you. It's so much more difficult down the road if you're trying to book a room or arrange certain excursions or transportation, and you find yourself looking for their contact information. You don't want to wait till the last minute to find out that their passport is expired. You want to get all of that up front. So what I usually do, I use jot forms, but you can even use a spreadsheet to help you capture the information. So once you have people submit an interest form, you present them, with this is a destination who's interested. They in turn fill out a form, and that first form is when you're going to capture all of that information. That's when everybody's excited about going on the cruise. That's when, they're just going to be ready to give you the information instead of you having to hunt them down and track them down later. You don't want to set yourself up for that. So you want to be organized from the onset. Make sure you get their full government name, not the nickname, not what they go by, not what you know them by. You want to get their full government name. You want to get their address and their phone number. Ask them if they prefer to be contacted by phone or email. Capture their email address. You want to, of course, verify that their passport is valid, or if they are going to travel with a birth certificate, you want to make sure that that itinerary allows for traveling with a birth certificate. You also want to know how many people that they want to have in their cabin and what type of cabin they want. So you want to get all of that right at the onset. And also, sometimes people have traveled or cruised in a certain line before, so I always ask them if they have any reward status. If you are not a travel agent, I strongly suggest you secure a travel agent to help you with your group cruise planning. It doesn't cost any extra, and it will save you so much headache because they're going to be able to work directly with the cruise line and be sure that you get everything that you need to make your cruise good. A lot of times, travel agents can help you secure a block of rooms without having to put down the names to hold the room or the deposits to hold the room. They have access to certain things that you just won't have access to doing it on your own. And a lot of people think that, oh, well, I want to save money by not using a travel agent. No, you don't save any money because most travel agents, unless they're high exclusive travel agents with a super specialty, but most travel agents are not going to charge you anything. They get paid their commission directly from the cruise line. And what a lot of people might not understand is that even if you book directly on the website, you're going to still pay that price. So that the price that the commission that goes to the agent is built into that price even online or if you call up. So you're going to pay it. It's just that no one will get it, but you're still going to pay it. So why not use it? Get a travel agent. They're going to be able to walk you through all of the steps. Make sure that you get all of the amenities that you deserve with your rooms. Make sure that all of your benchmarks are met. All of your due dates are met. So you'll have all of that, and you'll have someone there that can just help guide you through the process. So even though you can still be the group leader, and your people will still come to you, then you will go to the travel agent. And I'm telling you, they are worth their weight in gold. I mean, get a good one. I'm not saying that they're, you can't be wary or you shouldn't vet them, but you should vet a travel agent, get a good one that you can rely on, and it is going to save you a lot of time, headache, and frustration. So you know how it goes. Everybody's all in until you start talking about the money. So that's why I like to provide the pricing information as soon as I can, because you want people to know what to expect as early as possible so that they can plan for it accordingly. So what I do, I of course always try to find the best value, which might not always be the cheapest option, but I want my family, friends, whoever I'm traveling with, to get the best value that they can. So what you want to do is to be sure you include things that they're going to end up paying for that might not show up in that initial cost, but you don't want them to be surprised and get sticker shock later. Things like gratuities. So when I'm quoting a price, I'm going to add the gratuities in. I'll let them know this is for the gratuities. This is if you add the travel insurance, which I always strongly encourage people to purchase travel insurance. And if you're doing a group cruise with me, you're going to get travel insurance because something's going to happen, and then the person will want to back out, and then they're going to say, oh, well, you didn't tell me, so I shouldn't have to pay. We're not going there. So get your travel insurance so that you'll be covered. Have that all paid up, because Nobody wants to end the cruise with a big surprise bill that they didn't know was coming their way. So when you prepay for your gratuities, hey, if you know you're going to use the Wi-Fi, get the Wi-Fi package. So what I do is I add all of those things in. So I'm giving them a nice robust estimate when they are going to decide if they're going to book or not. And then once they put that deposit down, then that amount becomes final. But at least then they can have an idea. No one's getting surprised, no one's getting sticker shock. So you want to do that. Also, what I like to do is to set up payment plans for people in group cruises so that you're paying along the way. What you don't want to do is to have people give you a small deposit and then you don't hear from them for months. You're holding the room and then at the last minute they cancel because they don't really have any skin in the game at that point. So you want to schedule structured payments so that makes it easy for everybody. It's less painful to pay a little bit on a regular basis than to try to come up with a big chunk of money at the end. Now, sometimes it works out that way and people, that's the only way they can do it. There's always exceptions. But just as a general rule, I suggest setting people up with a payment plan, make it automatic, send them out a reminder, hey, in 3 days your payment's coming out. And this is also something that a travel agent can help you with because they can capture that information for you and they can make those payments for you so you can be hands off with dealing with people and their actual money. And also, I always kind of pad my due dates, right? So if the cruise line is saying, final payment is due on October 10th, you better believe I'm going to tell you your due date is October 1st. Why? Because it's going, someone's going to come on October 9th at 11:59 and there's no way you can get it in. And then they're going to be upset with you. Well, I called you before the due date. Well, it wasn't enough time. So just to save yourself that stress, pad it just a few days at least. Give both you some breathing room as well as the person who's booking the cruise a little breathing room. Perhaps one of the best things about booking a group cruise as opposed to booking each cabin individually is that a lot of times you can get extras or amenities with the group cruise. So some things that you might want to look for or to see how many rooms are required for you to receive a free berth or a room. You might say, well, what's the difference between a berth and a room? Well, a berth is basically, you can think of it as half of a room. It's because most of the cruise rooms or cruise cabins are based on double occupancy. So if they're offering you a free berth, that means basically they're going to take off half of the fare, not including the port fees and all of that stuff, but basically half of the fare for that room, that'll be free. And so you usually get one free berth for every 8 rooms. Now, like I said, every cruise line is a little bit different. That's just the general rule, but there are some that actually give you an entire free cabin. And you have options. So this is something else that a travel agent can help you with because sometimes you might want to take that free berth and instead of just giving it to one person or to yourself or whatever, you might want to take that difference and spread it out amongst everyone so that way everyone in your group maybe can get a little bit of onboard credit, maybe $25 per cabin, depending on how much it is and how large your group is. Another thing that is a perk is that if you use a travel agent, they can a lot of times hold a group of rooms for you without having the exact names on the booking or the full deposit on the booking. So if you're getting a group together, say it's, for your class reunion and you're thinking you're going to have maybe 100 people, and you want to book 50 cabins, but you haven't confirmed with everybody yet. You've gotten the feedback, but you're not sure, but you want to go ahead and secure those rooms before they sell out. A travel agent can also help you with that. So a few little bonus tips I want to just throw in that can really just help enhance the fun of your group trip. Now, something that my family and I always like to do when we take our group cruise is to get matching t-shirts. And it really makes for a fun photo op. And it kind of, just builds a sense of the group being together and moving together. And so we usually do that on embarkation day. So we'll show up with our group cruise t-shirts and, take our pictures. And it really just starts everything off with a real fun vibe. So that's one thing. And another thing, we really find that allowing flexibility as far as dining and excursions is really good because, not everybody wants to do everything at the same time or everything together, period. So what we usually do is we'll set up to have our dinner together. So we'll say, okay, we'll dine together every night. No pressure if you don't make it or if you want to do something different or your specialty dining or whatever. But just as a rule, we try to meet for our dinner every night. But during the day, we're doing different things because we don't all want to go on the same excursion. Some of us want to stay back on the boat. Some of us want to do a spa day. And that's the beauty of cruising. That's why to me, cruising is just the best when it comes to group travel because you're together, but you're not together. So that's really just the best. Another suggestion that I have is to set up a Facebook page for your pre-cruise communication because that's going to be a hub where you all can put, your ideas in, your plans in, your information, or if you're going to have a pre-cruise hotel, that information can go in there. Your excursion information can go in there, just everything. So everyone knows where they can go to get in contact with each other or to give information or get information from the group. So I strongly suggest setting up a Facebook page specific for your group cruise. Another thing is to schedule something on the ship like a special themed outfit night where you can, have a photo op. A lot of times we'll do this on the night that we might do a specialty dining together. And so we'll all maybe wear white that night or do something. And the cruise lines will have photo booths and whatnot, photo stations set up. Take advantage of those if you like. And that's a really great opportunity for you to get your family or friends together and get a professional quality picture done right there on the ship. And lastly, what I like to do for people in my group cruise is to arrange to have a welcome gift placed in their cabin. This is a really nice touch that the cruise line can help you arrange. So they're usually, with the group, you will get something called amenities or amenity points, and you can use those to help purchase items like if you want chocolate covered strawberries or maybe a bottle of wine or something really nice to be placed in the room of your guests, you can do that. So that's just a great welcoming idea for you to use when you are organizing your group cruise. So there you have it, folks. Those are my tips, my little quick tips for helping you to organize your group cruise. I hope you found them helpful. If you did find this video helpful in any way, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up. That really helps. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye.